All right. I think I'm live. Pretty sure I'm live. It's been a while, so I don't know what.
Subscribe.
That's loud. Pretty sure. Pretty sure all my shit is fucking doing what it's supposed to. So that's a plus. Yeah. I didn't even know if I wanted to go live, right? Because I had to sit here and think about it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, because if I do it and I say the things I want to say, I am absolutely going to alienate people like myself and people that are on the left. Democrats. I've already alienated progressives and communists and socialists. I don't really give a shit about those people. They're less than human at this point. Sorry, not sorry. But what we're seeing, right? And I've always maintained that I'm a moderate. I have always maintained that I'm a moderate. Because, and this is why I get shit on by people on the right. I think trans people have a right to exist. I think anybody has a right to exist. You want to do whatever you want to do? Fine, do it. When you start infringing on other people, then it becomes a problem. But that's that goes for anything. Literally anything, right? So there's a lot of things, and I had to bring it up that my voting record is all over the place because I vote based on policy. I don't vote based on party lines. I never have. And if I don't like your policies, then obviously I'm going to vote for the other guy, which is exactly what happened this last election and why I voted for Trump, which I told all of you I was going to do that and exactly why I was going to do it. But one of the things that was a precursor to that was me watching how Democrats behave, the things that they say, the things that they do. And now we have a situation where some woman, and I'm pretty sure all of you know, there's no reason for me to go in there and explain all this again, because I'm pretty sure everybody knows at this point. This woman was with her wife, blocking federal agents in her vehicle. Federal agents clearly get out. And here's the thing, right? Before I go further with this, there are 3 different angles of this video. 3 different angles. And all of them show the exact same thing, but from a different angle. Go figure, right? Go figure. Who'd have thought? So you have this woman sitting there in her Honda, blocking ICE agents with her window rolled down. You've got 3 agents. You got one clearly walking up to her saying, "Get the fuck out. Get out. Get out." You hear him say it 3 times. Clearly. Get out. As in, get out of the vehicle. So, ICE agent reaches the door, tries to open it. You have another one closer to the front driver's side bumper. And there is another one that you can't see from the very first angle that we all got that is in front of the vehicle. Right? Now, common sense, and I'm not that old, y'all. I'm not that old. I was born in 85. So maybe I am old. I don't know. I don't feel old. Sometimes I do. Growing up, you did not see this shit from leftists of going out and fucking with law enforcement of any type and thinking they could get away with it. You just didn't. You didn't. Anybody that says that we did is fucking lying. You didn't see this shit happening. So something occurred, and nearest in my mind that I can place it is right around COVID, when everybody started getting locked up inside their houses and everybody started going batshit, and now we are where we are because people have allowed things to get progressively worse. It's a funny term to use there, progressively. And now people think they can just do whatever they want and there's no consequences. Look, I don't like cops. I'm not a fan of cops. I've had nothing but good interactions with cops. I have no desire to want to interact with them unless I am forced to, which is usually a traffic stop. But when something like that occurs, Personal feelings don't fucking matter. You do what they say and you get it over with. If this woman had gotten out of the car on the first get the fuck out, she would still be alive. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. So anyway, regardless of the three angles that you look at, she decided it was going to be a smart move to throw the vehicle into reverse and try to drive away. Now, any rational person is going to say, I probably shouldn't run from these people. I don't do it if I get pulled over. So what made this woman think that the smart thing to do was to slam on the gas while being surrounded by 3 separate feds and try to take off? Why? What is the thought process behind that? What makes you think, okay, this is what I should do rather than comply? And I get it. There's people that don't like law enforcement. There's people that don't like Trump. There's people that don't like Republicans. There's people that don't like conservatives. There's people that don't like Christians. There's people that don't like this, that, the other. It doesn't fucking matter what you do or do not like. What matters is common fucking sense, which apparently has gone out the fucking window in the last 4 or 5 years. It just has. It has. And, going back to what I was saying, that I've always maintained that I'm a moderate, because there are policies that Democrats believe in that I think are good policies to have. There's not as many as I would like, but there are some. Just like there are policies that Republicans have that I like. And I have gotten to the point where I have seen so much shit coming out of Democrats' mouths that I don't want anything to fucking do with them for the entirety of my life moving forward. Because they will happily sit there and lie to your face and tell you, and that was the irony of seeing the Democrat X account quoting 1984 about how, they're going to make you not believe what you're seeing with your own. That is exactly what they fucking did. You can like the fact, let me rephrase that. You cannot like the fact that a woman was killed by these agents. I don't like that fact. I'm not celebrating. I'm not jumping up and down going, they got a leftist. No, I'm not happy that some woman lost her life. I'm not. I'm just not. I don't think people should be gunned down by anybody. But if you're going to put yourself in that situation, it's the equivalent of me going to the worst neighborhood in fucking Houston, walking around with a bunch of gold hanging off my necks and my arms and my wrists and my ankles, and then being surprised when I get fucking jacked by some dude around the corner. Well, I don't understand why this happened. I don't understand. Why did I get robbed? Why would this person take... Motherfucker, you know where you're at. It's your fault. Don't make excuses. I wouldn't make excuses if I did that. I knew better. And people go, you shouldn't be afraid of law enforcement. Yes, you fucking should. You should have always been afraid of law enforcement. It's always been that way. Always. You do what they say, because the first thing that you should think of is, these guys have every single opportunity, if I give it to them, to kill me if I fuck up. And they will. In her case, why? Why is that? Because she slammed on the gas and tried to fucking take off. Whether she was trying to hit them or not. The fact of the matter is there was an ICE agent in front of her vehicle and she hauled ass to get out of there. Common sense, right? Common sense. So now we've got Tim Walz getting up on his soapbox and talking about how he's going to activate the National Guard and, don't let them pursue the Insurrection Act and, oh, you know, I'm going to have to do this and that, blah, 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 blah. If you listen to the rhetoric that comes out of these people's mouths, they do not see us as Americans. They don't see themselves as Americans, I don't think, because everything that they say is in the vein of, we're going to fight the government. Oh, no, we're not going to fight the government. We're just going to fight the people in charge that you don't like. That's what you mean. Because when y'all are in charge, it's cool to do whatever the fuck you want. And that's what they've done. But when somebody else is in charge, nope, we're going to take to the streets. We're going to murder ICE agents and we're going to run people over. Look what happened in New York. I can probably find it. Here, I'll show you. If you think I'm being hyperbolic, if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. These people think this way. And I hate that we have gotten to this point. I hate that I have gotten to this point where now every single time that I hear a Democrat say something, or a Democrat supporter, or any sort of leftist, and it's them talking about how they should be able to kill somebody like me because I disagree with them, I'm done. I'm done. I have nothing in common with you. You want to come at me? I got plenty for you. I'm just saying. And I'm sure a ton of other people do too. This is not going to be what you think it is. This is not a video game. This is reality. Nobody is going to let you just walk up to them and do what you want with them. Nobody. Especially not in Texas. Which is why every time something like this pops off, you don't see the shit that you see in places like Minnesota or Los Angeles or Portland or New York. Because the first thing at the forefront of every single Texan's mind is, if I fuck with this person, they may or may not be strapped. 9 times out of 10, they probably are. So yeah, you think twice about pulling some dumb shit. And these other places, they don't think about that because they know that the people in charge have done everything in their power to prevent that from happening. Oh, you're going to get robbed? Well, you better let them take your shit because you have no way to defend yourself. And that's what they want. That's what they want. They want you depending on them and doing everything that they say, and they're happy with it. The people that vote for it are happy with it. And you shouldn't be. These people are not your friends. If you're a Democrat and you're still listening, these people are not your friends. Just like I would say that the Republicans are not your friends. These communist agitators that are out there in the streets, have been out there in the streets for the last 2 days, are not your friends. And I got something to show y'all about that too. It was so batshit insane that I had to record it. I have never heard anything like that in my life. And again, if you're still watching, I'm going to show it to you, just like I'm about to show you exactly what I'm talking about now about New York. So here we go, right? This is today. This is New York. Kristi Noem will hang. Kill ICE. These are the people telling you what you should do. Save a life. Kill an ICE. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, in fact, if you're dumb enough to listen to these people, if you're dumb enough to fucking do what they say, you fucking deserve anything that happens to you. These people don't give a shit. This motherfucker up here in a mask screaming all this shit, telling people what to chant. They don't give a shit about you. All these people have their own agenda. And I saw some fucking leftist calling me out for helping animals. Like that's supposed to make me side with them. No. And let me tell you why. Because I know that my cats, I've got one sitting in my lap right now. I've got a bunch of other ones running around over here. I know that my animals love me. My animals come to me for food. They come to me to go to bed. They come to me to go potty. And that's it. And they love me. My neighbor does not need me. My neighbor has his own thoughts. My neighbor has the opportunity to dick me over if he wanted to. My neighbor is his own person. So yeah, I put way more stock, way more investment into my animals than I'm going to into random people, which is why I get the suicidal empathy thing, right? Where people are like, "Oh no, you have to care about everyone. You have to do this. You have to care about this random person over there." No, I fucking don't. Why? Because I don't know them. And human beings, human nature, part of that is dicking other people over if it means surviving. That is a plain and simple truth. Look at these people. Look at this crowd in this video. Unless you think like them, you are the enemy. If you're not with us, you're against us. That is exactly how they think. There's no compromise. There's no let's meet in the middle. There's no let's have a discussion. There's none of that. You're either with me or against me. And straight out of the fucking communist playbook, if you disagree with them, they would be more than happy to blind you up in front of a firing squad if they could. The reason they're so angry is because they're not the ones in power right now. I guarantee you, if they were in charge right now, they'd be calling for every single person that disagrees with them to be tossed in jail or whatever, or worse. But now all they can do is do shit like this. There you go. And they like to think that their opinion is the only one that matters. It's not true. You've got plenty of people that aren't out there in New York that I guarantee disagree with them. You can't sit there and pretend you're the majority. Just like I don't sit there and pretend that I'm the majority. I know, and this is why I've always said that I was a moderate, because I've always been open to listening to other people, right? I'm not going to agree with you on whatever it is you're saying, probably, but I'll listen to you. I'm not going to fight you because your opinion is different from mine. And I see that from a lot of people that think like me, right? And I'll go back to it. We've got plenty to go over right now. And the sad thing is, instead of talking about something that I think is genuinely important, which is what's happening in fact, I would argue that what's happening in Iran right now with the revolution is 1,000 times more important than what is happening here in the U.S. because some woman decided she wanted to block a bunch of federal agents and got shot for it. And nobody is talking about it. Nobody is talking about it. Hello? She's not going to listen to me. My mic can pick up everything you're saying.
Well, I have some stuff to do too.
So, what's happening in Iran is arguably the most probably the next most important thing outside of what happened in Venezuela. And those people are literally fighting for their freedom against the Islamic regime. And nobody's talking about it. Yeah, they cut off the internet, they cut off the phones. These people are literally fighting for their lives right now in Iran. And you've got these people over here in New York, in Minneapolis, in Portland, sitting there screeching about our dictatorship, our fascist regime, or this, that, and the other. Motherfuckers, you haven't seen a dictatorship or a fascist regime yet. But you keep pushing people, and eventually people are going to be fine with it if it means that you shut the fuck up. Which is about the point where I'm at when it comes with all this. Same thing. Before I hopped on here, there was Hassan Piker talking shit about, the revolution and this, that, and the other. Motherfucker, nobody is on your side except the fucking retard sitting in their basement handing you money while you sit there and do nothing from your mansion except rile people up that are dumb enough to listen to you. Which is exactly what he does. Bunch of stupid 20-something-year-olds that think they're intelligent. Oh, I watch Hassan. Oh, I'm actually a socialist. Oh, communism is great, actually. Communism's based. Hold up. Read a fucking book. Or would you like me to teach you about the Khmer Rouge and tell you how great communism is? Or the any number of times, the millions of people that communism has killed. Oh, but you listen to Hassan, so you're an intelligent person. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have disagreed with you, because Mr. Balenciaga over there is talking about eat the rich, while he makes more than any of you will probably see in your entire fucking lives. Get the fuck out of here. These people have nothing better to do. They have nothing to... They don't have real problems. So they would rather do this and create the problem. That's enough of that. I already got the point across by showing the fucking beginning of this, where they're talking about killing ICE and hanging Kristi Noem and this, that, and the other. Look. I fundamentally disagree with everything that they're saying. But I believe in people's right to protest. If you want to stand off to the side, you want to scream, you want to cuss, you want to yell, you want to argue, you want to do whatever, that's your right as an American. I don't have to like what you're doing. I don't have to like what you're saying. But you do have that right to protest. You do. You have... And I think J.D. Vance said this exact same thing earlier. I could be entirely wrong. I've only been, glancing over this shit throughout the day. You have the right to do that. You have the right to hold signs, wave signs around, be like, I fucking hate Trump, I hate J.D. Vance, and I hate you too. That's your right. You want to sit there and fucking scream, yell, wave signs, whatever. That's fine. That is your right. You do not have the right to touch anybody. You do not have the right to block traffic. You do not have the right to, shove a bullhorn in somebody's ear and fucking press the siren button. That's assault. There are plenty of things that common sense will tell you that you do not have the right to do. But somehow, again, I don't know exactly when everything flipped to where this is no longer common sense. You should know the difference between what you can do and what you can't do. But these people are acting like when something happens to them, it's because they were just innocently standing off to the side. Oh, I wasn't doing anything. I did nothing at all. No. And 9 times out of 10, it's because they fucked around and found out. From the stuff I've seen, it's 10 times out of 10. It's because they did something that any reasonable, intelligent person would know that you shouldn't do, and they did it anyway, and then they're upset because something happened to them. How do you live with people like that? And I said it earlier. I don't think I can call myself a moderate anymore. I don't think a lot of people that are like me can call themselves moderates anymore. Because we are seeing this shit. We are hearing this shit. I am seeing shit coming out of the Democrat Party telling me not to believe the things that I have seen with my own eyes. Exactly. There is no accountability. Zero. None. And now that accountability is back in style, everybody's upset. It should have always been that way. Accountability should have never fucking left. You don't have the right to do shit just because you want to do it. And I know at this point, the libertarians are about at that point where they keep saying that you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. But that's just libertarians. Libertarians, if the Overton window hadn't shifted, libertarians would still be on the left. And now they're sort of lumped into the right. When, in all actuality, they're not. But here's something. If you don't believe me about the, Democrats are telling you, to not believe whatever. Here you go. Here we go. Here's the example right here. Miss Ratchet herself.
I remember when Charlie Kirk got killed.
I remember. Yep.
Do you remember what our response was?
Yes!
Our response wasn't to sit there and pretend like it was okay.
Wrong! 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 Lie! Wrong! And she's saying it with her fucking chest. Wrong! Everybody saw it. The entirety of fucking Reddit was celebrating. Everybody saw it. And she wants to sit there and lie. That is a straight up lie. Even in Congress, when they tried to bring up the Charlie Kirk bill, whatever, you had Congress people in there fucking jeering. But these people will lie to your face. They have no problems lying to your fucking face. None whatsoever. Zero.
Is it okay because you have a badge? Because the last time I checked, allegedly no one is above the law.
Oh, there you go.
Not just have a little bit of hurt and humanity.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Oh, no one is above the law. It's such bullshit. This is performative garbage. She does not give a single flying fuck. Not one. These people are playing you like fucking fiddles. And I see it coming out of... the only Democrat I respect at this point? And I never thought I would say this. I never thought I would say this in my life. John Fetterman. John Fetterman has been a fucking G about all of this shit. The dude, and it boggles my mind that this guy has the decency and the common sense to be like, yo, I don't like Trump, but hey, that's a good thing. Or, hey, you probably shouldn't do shit like that. Or something. He stroked himself rational. Yes, that's exactly what happened. I don't know what happened. Dude went from, at least in my mind, where I was like, I cannot fucking stand this guy, to where now when he says something, I'm just like, yo, I can't argue with him. He's right. He's right. And it's kind of crazy that he is the only one out there doing this. The only one. Here's another one. This is Representative Janelle Bynum, U.S. Congresswoman from Oregon. Oregon of all people. This isn't law enforcement. It's state-sponsored terrorism. Stop fucking with us. This is the second shooting this week by agents following the orders of a wannabe dictator who... This is a congresswoman! who is trying to take over cities and rule by instilling terror in the hearts of American people. You're going to scare the fucking shit out of people that actually think you're a rational human being. You are not. And this is why we're at where we're at. Read this shit. All they do is scare the living shit out of their voters. All these people, like this woman that just got shot, genuinely believe they are living in the fourth fucking Reich because of these people. Look at this shit. And she's not the only one. They're all doing it. All of them. The governor of Minnesota is doing it. Tim Walz. Frey, the mayor, is doing it. Pelosi's doing it. Crockett's doing it. I can keep going, and I can keep naming Democrats that are spouting the exact same type of shit. And you wonder why people are doing what they do. Us normal people, we know why. It's because you people are scaring the shit out of them and telling them that fucking Trump is Hitler incarnate and riling them up. And yeah, I listened to Tim Walz's speech. We can probably... Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'll bring it up. Tim Walz's speech that he gave. That shit was fucking borderline treason, if not outright treason, what he was saying. Let's see if it's this one.
I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident. But we love this state.
That's great.
We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this. I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We can't.
It's a laugh coming from the guy that literally let his fucking state burn during the BLM riots.
Not. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully as you always do.
Oh, as you always do. Yeah, okay.
Them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this. Please stand with Minneapolis. The Minnesotans know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated...
Probably smart when you're worried about your own fucking citizens rising up and probably setting your fucking police station on fire again for the second time.
Dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government.
I would take that as a fucking challenge. All right, you don't need help from the government? You're on your own. Build a fucking wall around Minnesota, and whatever happens, happens. Call it a day. You don't want to be like the rest of us? Fuck off. There you go.
To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary. I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops.
That sounds a lot like I want to fight the federal government. It's exactly what that sounds like to me.
They're teachers in your community, they're business owners, they're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans. Minnesota will not allow our community to be used as a prop in a national political fight.
Like he always does.
We will continue to update you, Minnesota, as we get more information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Bob Jacobson of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
Okay, yeah, we're not going to listen to fucking...
About this. Trading sites.
With that, I will turn it back over to the governor. Thank you.
We'd be glad to take any questions.
Oh, maybe I missed it.
Yeah,
But there was a
and I can let General Schaefer.
And it may be in the rest of this video where he literally says, oh, we've never been at war with the federal government. Motherfucker, you're not at war with the federal government. Y'all are turning it into a war. You want a war. You want your constituents fucking scared shitless and hating the government because the people you don't like are in charge. That's all it is. That's all it is. And honestly, I'm genuinely fucking sick of it. And I think most people are. This is here in Houston. I never thought I would see this in Texas. But of course, it's Houston, so it's not exactly shocking at this point. I would expect to see something like this out of Austin. Not even necessarily Dallas. You got somebody sitting here with the fucking... There's not that many people here. Not even close. Wearing socialism is the future shirts. And the reason why this stuff never happens... We'll have protests, we'll have rallies, we'll have people walking around and screaming, whatever, right? But Texas does not fucking play with people wanting to act up and act a fool. Not to mention, if you're here in Texas, you have to worry about, if I go up to somebody, how do I know I'm not going to get clapped by starting shit? So yeah, they're a little bit more hesitant to pop off than people in, say, LA or Portland or, Chicago, wherever. Okay, what are you going to do about it? And I'm hesitant to show that part where they say his name, but at this point, every single news agency is probably going to release his name within 24 hours. I almost guarantee it, if they haven't done it already. Yeah. Because, to be honest, the media, print media, traditional media, mainstream media, whatever you want to call it, all of them are pulling the same bucks, pulling the same talking points, and these people, again, are not your friends. See, right there, there's already cops out there. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I like how these people are like, oh, there's tens of millions of... They are not the majority. And for you people that are scared to speak up, that don't want to say anything, they are not the majority. They're not the majority. They're not. You people with level heads, with clear thinking, with rational thoughts, you are the majority. And I brought this up because, the commies, and I've never hated fucking communists more than I have in the last couple days. I already hated them. Now I really fucking hate them. We're bringing it up. Oh, why do people like Asmongold? I don't understand. Because Asmongold, whether you like him or not, represents a large chunk, if not an overwhelming chunk, of the population that can sit there and make decisions for themselves without listening to some streamer or some politician or whoever telling them what to think and how to behave and what to do, and can formulate conclusions for themselves, whether you like him or not. That's exactly why people listen to him and why he's at the top right now. And if I'm being honest, I agree with probably 99% of the shit that he says. And I know plenty of other people do too. It's insane. It's literally insane. I never thought that I would reach this point. I am genuinely mind boggled that this is where we're at. And people are talking about, well, what do we do now? I don't know what we do now. I genuinely don't know what we do now. I don't know where we go from here. So it's kind of insane. And you have plenty of people that are more than happy to let this fucking country burn because they already hate the fucking country and the people in it. And they are more than happy to tell you that. And then you're going to go out and listen to what they have to say? Are you kidding me? Why the fuck would you take the advice and listen to the thoughts of somebody who makes no qualms about saying that they hate the United States and every single thing that the United States does and everybody in the United States? Why the fuck would you listen to that person unless you yourself already believes that? And there are plenty of streamers pulling that bullshit. Plenty. It just so happens that Hassan is at the top of the food chain when it comes to that shit. Even though he's sitting up in his mansion in LA, you know, making buku bucks. Oh, but by all means, give him all your money. Go for it. But I found the video. This is what I was talking about. And if I can get it to load. Here we go. I had to pull it from Portland Andy. Which, you know, shout out to Portland Andy. Hold on.
I think this is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Then move that there. Here we go.
You know, I've been with Portland PDXCD. I've been living here in Portland for 5 years. With PDXCD, the majority of this since April. The things.
Make no mistake. These people that you're looking at here, this rally that you're seeing here in Portland, that's a straight up communist rally. And you're gonna understand.
That we have witnessed over this entire presidency, this last fucking year, has been insane.
Oh yeah,
Let's take a deep collective breath.
this has been crazy, boy.
None of this shit is fucking normal.
This is a deacon of a church, by the way.
Thank you for the proof.
Church.
I almost forgot to mention that I'm a deacon with United
Oh.
Church of Christ.
There you go.
You're a deacon. Get over here.
So I want to say this one thing. The one thing I will Bible thump about right now is that Jesus never asked for fucking papers from anyone.
You know what Jesus done did.
Jesus would never fucking pat down the poor triple shot to the head that ICE agents get in anyone.
This is a church deacon. A church deacon.
Triple
Again.
shot, point blank.
No, this is communist propaganda.
Great pleasure this summer of going to Rome with some comrades.
Comrades.
From iChurch, which is the International Coalition Human Rights for those in the Philippines.
And why were you in
We need all of
fucking?
you to go home and educate yourselves about what has been fucking happening in the Philippines since the 70s. I'll give you a hint. It's an armed resistance against their
At
own
Black
government.
Knight Tactical Super Chatted 5.
She's literally inciting
Words
people.
first like they mean.
It is an
This is
armed
Yep.
resistance.
pure agitprop.
Yeah, so why did she go to Rome but not the Philippines? I don't understand.
At Money Actual Super Chatted $4.99. This lady eats cat food.
Tell you what.
To rig
Brought it
our
up.
and keep people destitute.
Thank you.
Keep them so fucking poor that they can't look outside of their little world in front of them to do enough to overthrow their governments. They keep them so fucking poor. And
That's-
I wanna tell you right
That's
now,
exactly what she wants. Again, this is why I say this is agitprop. You notice she's talking about overthrowing the government. These people are literally comparing the Philippines to the United States. These people are more than happy to compare Nazi Germany to the United States. These people are more than happy to compare someplace like Burma to the United States, or Iraq, or Afghanistan, or any other place that they think in their minds is some sort of destitute country that deserves to rise up and, you know, fight the power. If this were a dictatorship, if we were living in a fascistic society with a fascistic government, with a fucking overlord, these people would not be able to sit there and say and do the shit that they're doing. They would have been fucking black vanned, and you would never see them again. If you don't believe me, I've got a video on my channel of Russia where there was a small protest and some woman just dared to open her mouth and she got snatched up and she was gone. That's not happening here. As much as they want it to.
The fucking difference between you and the peasants of the Philippines is your fucking iPhone. The only difference between us and them is we have better dressings. That is the only fucking difference.
No, there's a
There's
major
so many
difference.
people who have been
And if
staying
you can't
at
see
home
that,
and staying at home, this
there's no
is
saving you.
fucking sign.
Yes, this was from yesterday at the
Red Eagle Whiskey tipped $10
After the
10 cents.
shooting.
Never a people evinced a more determined spirit than that animating men, women, and children in every part of our country. Upon the first call, men fly to arms, wives and mothers send husbands and sons to battle with no regret. Confed Pray J. Davis, Richmond, 1862.
Damn, Red Eagle with the history lesson again. Thank you, Red Eagle.
Thank you very much, Portland, and these are all great people.
If you're a child,
And thank
stay
you
the
with
fuck
that.
home.
You see.
You need to be at home. You need to find other
Are you telling
avenues to
Christopher?
do the things, and that's okay. That's acceptable. We don't all need to be crazy motherfuckers like me, screaming at eyes.
Well, at least she's self-aware.
Getting my face bashed in by federal fucking officers.
I'm sure she
Attacked by maggots.
these people are so well adjusted, right?
Damn thing they did in any other day of this fucking year.
They're all like this. They're all like this. All of them. And these people are inciting like-minded people to be just like them. That is the only purpose of this. The purpose is to rile people up, to scare people, and to bring them into the fold so that they have more little followers that'll do whatever they say. And there's a reason I'm saying that, because she kind of takes over as we go along.
That scared me off.
Victim.
And they're shit not scaring me off now that they're fucking killing American citizens.
These people belong in prison. Sorry.
I'm a 37-year-old white presenting woman. And
Oh, white
I'm
presenting.
not fucking going anywhere.
You mean you're just white?
White presenting woman? What does that mean?
This hope and this camaraderie is a beautiful fucking thing. Make no mistake, I might be the bad mouth auntie and the bad influence deacon here by all my cussing and whatever, but if your fucking panties are in a bunch about my word choices and not the actions of these ICE agents, you are just as much a part of the fucking problem.
So anybody want to go to this church?
To the discretion of the oppressor to tell the oppressed what is acceptable. Without organization, without all of us forming mutual aid groups, forming systems outside of our existing systems, there can be no meaningful fucking resistance. You don't have to join FRSO. You don't have to join PDXCD. You can
No,
be
thank
just
God,
an
I'm not going
individual
to.
who wants to go and yell at people or do meager watch or do anything, but you must do something.
Yes, you have to do something. Go out there and go after police officers and, you know, attack ICE agents. Go ahead, you do it.
We lose in this. She is only the first to lose her life.
Comrade,
She
comrade,
is
comrade.
only the first of us to make that ultimate sacrifice. And it is not a sacrifice that any of us should
See?
be forced to fucking make.
There you go. Oh, we shouldn't have to do this, but actually go out, go beat them up. Go attack ICE agents. Go ahead, you do it.
There's also plenty of, as we heard already from my other comrades,
These people are insane.
plenty of protests that are happening all across our nation right now.
They're quite literally insane. They're insane.
That's happening
These are crazy people.
Now?
And this is who the Democrat Party has gotten in bed
Yeah,
with.
earlier today.
There are more where she came from. A lot more.
I need a bubble bath after this one, boys.
Understand, no one is illegal on stolen land. So we're gonna go with that, but I'm gonna make this a little bit of a competition. I want to split this group in half.
Yeah,
She's
everybody's...
fucking controlling the crowd now.
This one you're gonna say the first
He's the
half,
MC of the night.
this one
Mark Kelly?
the second half, and it's gonna be call and response. Who gets fucking louder? Who's more pissed?
I have lost a lot of respect for Mark Kelly. You do not turn on your fellow armed forces the way he did.
Right, GF? G Fontes? Thank you for the Rumble Rain. I appreciate you.
Take a stand. No,
He's being just as incendiary as the rest of them.
watch for my hand signals.
Watch for my hand signals.
Ready?
I mean, never mind.
Black Site Tactical super chatted $5. These fools call themselves comrades, yet they protest Russia. This is what happens when cousins reproduce.
I mean, they're not wrong. The irony is palpable. And I could kind of go into
Sounds fucking pissing.
why I say that.
Understand that they killed an American citizen. Make sure Trump can hear you in his fucking bunker.
He's not in his bunker.
We've watched enough of this. But yeah, I had to screen record it because I was like, this is batshit. But yeah, what I said about Mark Kelly, I don't think he should be encouraging people to go against the very thing that, you know, he's famous for, you know? And I get it. There's a lot of people that don't like Trump. I don't even particularly like Trump. I think he's done some pretty good things. But, you know, Trump is Trump. I don't hate the guy enough to throw a fit every time he opens his mouth, right? Which is what some of these people do, where they have nothing better to do. Their entire waking moment is spent hating the president. Even though you know in the next 3 years, we're going to have another one. And I hated fucking Biden. But you ride it out, and you wait until the next election, then you vote, and then we get a new one. And people obviously were tired of the same shit I was, which is why I voted for Trump. But, you know, the irony is seeing these people with Ukrainian flags in their bios that are somehow communists, that hate Russia, which is a communist country, and have been talking down to Venezuelans for the last week or so. You know, it's these people are walking hypocritical contradictions, and nothing that they say or nothing that they do is. Why do you want to align yourself with that? Has he asked not to follow Trump's orders or specifically illegal orders? I don't think so. Honestly, all I know about Kelly, at least what I've been following when it comes to him, is the fact that Hegseth was pissed off that he opened his mouth and was basically trying to say that you shouldn't follow orders, right, of a sitting president. I don't think he was ever in that situation to begin with. So it doesn't make sense that he's going to turn around and tell the active armed forces members to do it just because he hates Trump. Like, one could argue that is, in fact, treason if you're telling active service members not to follow the orders of the sitting president. Now, whether or not a individual service member feels the need to either do or not do something that's entirely on them, because then you're risking a court martial, right? Or you end up sitting in Leavenworth or something. And I don't think that any former service member should be talking en masse, especially somebody with as much clout as him, talking to the masses saying, hey, you shouldn't follow orders. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. And, you know, I would argue that, in fact, most of the people that I know that have served agree with me. Because most people that are in the military are there because they want to be there. At least I think so. But, yeah, there's plenty of examples of people like Mark Kelly pulling this shit and saying shit like that just because it's Trump. When they wouldn't have dared say something like that when Biden was in power, or any other Democrat for that matter. And you know, all these people like to pretend like stuff that Trump is doing is some new thing, you know, that has never been done before, when an overwhelming amount of the shit that he has done is stuff that other presidents have done in their own terms. Biden and his administration were the ones saying that Maduro should be removed from power. That Maduro is a criminal, and Maduro, here, we're going to put a $25 million bounty on Maduro. And all these people were seal clapping and being like, yeah, this is stunning, brave, yes, we should do that. And now that Trump has actually gone out and do it, now all of a sudden everybody's up in arms. But the only reason that they're up in arms is because Trump did it. And I saw an example of this the other day. I said it. I was like, these people are so insane that Hitler could literally be reincarnated tomorrow, start taking over Germany, and Trump could send a team over there and kill Hitler, and these people would still be upset. I guarantee it. And sure enough, I saw somebody say, well, even if Hitler was reincarnated and Trump killed him by going over to Germany, then, you know, he's a bad person because he did. No. The only reason and the only thing that makes a difference is the fact it's Trump and you don't like him. And I've seen enough people's brains break just because it's Trump, even though he's doing something good. Like, how do you hate somebody that much? How do you devote that much energy to hating somebody? For what? Like, don't you have other problems? Don't you have other things to do? It doesn't make any sense. And now you've got, you know, their supporters. When I say their supporters, I mean the left in general, thinking that it's okay to do whatever they want and there's no repercussions, there's no consequences. That they should be able to put their hands on feds. They should be able to disobey lawful orders. That they should be able to, you know, put their hands on somebody that votes differently from them. That they should be able to say that, you know, people that think differently from them deserve to die. It's genuinely concerning. And I know plenty of people that I know personally that are registered Democrats or don't consider themselves right-wing, that probably I would say are even center-left leaning, that refuse to believe that this shit is going on. That there are people out there that genuinely think this, that genuinely behave this way, because they're not so locked into the internet and the social media discourse and everything else like I am. And then when it comes up and they're like, oh, that's not happening, and I show them, it's always, oh, okay, well, it's happening, but it's not everybody. Well, no, it's not everybody, but it is a concerning amount of people. That's the problem. Even though it's not you, It is the people that you align yourself with that are doing it, and you're choosing to ignore it. Look, I've always said this. It's very easy to identify the people on the right because they have no problem saying what they need to say or saying the shit that they believe. And then you go, oh, yeah, now fuck that guy, right? And you're like, yeah, that's a bad actor. That's somebody that shouldn't be listened to. That's a shitbag. But with the left, it's much more subtle. It's more insidious the way they do things because it's always from a position of moral high ground, right? It's always, oh, well, you should agree with me or you're a bad person, or you shouldn't say this because now you're a racist or a transphobe or a bigot or whatever. It's always something to make you feel bad because you are disagreeing with them. And the you see these people say this shit talking about the people that are in power, and the only reason they're saying it is because they're not the ones that are in power. They want to be the ones in power. They want to be the ones making the rules. They want to be the ones telling you what to do. And when they can't, it's always to fucking browbeat you so that you join them. And now you're not going to get picked on. You're not going to get messed with, right? It's, oh, now I'm one of the good guys, right? And you see a lot of these people use that phrase, oh, I'm on the right side of history. Well, no, you're not. You've just been conditioned to think that you are because they're not messing with you at this moment. But God forbid you disagree with them. If you go against the grain and you decide you want to have your own thoughts and feelings on things, no. Nope. No. Can't do that. Can't think for yourself. Nope. You better toe the fucking line or they will eat you a fucking live. And that is by design. That is the playbook. And people need to wake up and see that. You know, I see a lot of like professional comedians and people that do streaming and people that, you know, are public figures. And the ones that I genuinely respect are the ones that sit there and go, you do not apologize. Ever. You can't. Because once you apologize and you capitulate to these people, then they've got you. Now they know, oh, I can do this, or I can press you, or I can push you, and you're going to sit there and you're going to cow, and you're just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And they know they can keep doing it. And that is exactly what they do. That is why the whole cancel culture thing, right? I've never understood that. Because if somebody were to try to cancel me, or some of these people just like, oh, I'm going to find out where you work. Okay. Guess what? The people I work with agree with me. Or, oh, well, I'm going to show up to your house. Okay, show up to my house. I got plenty of shit I can fucking hit you with. Okay, well, I'm going to tell everyone that you're a bad person. Okay, go ahead. I don't give a shit. They're not paying my bills. That is the appropriate response. That tells them, okay, I can't push this guy around, and I'm not going to be able to make him feel like he's small, like he's less than a person. And you see them using all this language to do exactly that, to make you feel like you are less than them because you believe differently, or you say different things, or you vote a certain way. And people are sick and tired of it. I am sick and tired of it. Which is why I think that if you look at the way things are going, how they have been going into 2026, this shit is not going to happen the same way it did. Because people are sick of it. And I've got another example here that I saw earlier. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. This was a guy that was, you got protesters that were blocking traffic. And this is the black man in America. You know, the most endangered species according to the left. In his vehicle, being stopped. And I have something to say about this. I respect this guy, by the way. You hear that? Don't touch him. Don't touch him. This guy's just trying to get to his daughter. You hear that one guy say, run him over. But you notice in this video, right? He's telling them straight up, get the fuck out of the way. I don't want to run you over. Get out of the way. Even physically pushing them, get out of my way. But they're not touching him. They're not retaliating. They're not pushing back. They're not going after him. And that is because what he is doing and what he represents fundamentally broke their fucking brains to where they could not react to him. Why? Because they have been conditioned, oh, this is a black man. I need to defer all my everything to him. You saw the people that were standing in line were white. Every single one of them was a white person. And they're like, nope, can't touch him. Don't, no, you saw that woman holding everybody back. No, don't do it. No. Because that is what they have been taught. That is what they have been taught to think. Oh, as a white person with my privilege, I cannot touch this man because he is a minority, and I'm gonna have to just do what he says because, that's. And I guarantee that's what they're thinking. I don't think that way. Your average American doesn't think that way. When I see somebody like this, I see just another American trying to get where he's going, and these dumb fucks are blocking him in traffic. That is what I see. And kudos to him for standing his fucking ground and being like, you're going to get the fuck out of my way or I'm going to run your ass over. It's insane that these are the same people that would be happy if segregation were brought back. In fact, they're actively trying to do it. They want separate for everything. It's no longer everyone is equal. It's, oh, actually, some animals are better than others. It's straight up Animal Farm. And that's true. That's true. I agree with the fact that if you have a family, then you have some things to concern if these motherfucking crazy people are coming after you. Then you have to seriously consider, all right, do I go to war with these batshit loonies, or do I keep my family safe and just bow out, right? And it's generally one side that is pulling that shit. Believe it or not. And if you've got a son or a daughter or a family member that you take care of or whatever, and you've got a mob of crazy people that are more than happy to ruin your life, then yeah, you kind of need to make some hard decisions, right? Because there was a point where if you were on the wrong side of that, then you wouldn't get any help. I think now it's getting a little bit better now. Where, at least from my perspective, I'm seeing, where law enforcement is starting to grow a little bit more of a backbone than they had when they knew that the administration didn't have their backs. And, yeah, I think things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. And I hate that that's where my perspective is going. And you always see people talking about Civil War. Oh, Civil War this, Civil War that. Fucking Tim Pool, bringing up Civil War every single fucking day for the last 5 years. And nobody wants a Civil War. Except maybe the so-called revolutionaries that are out there screaming and telling you to go attack feds. Those people want a Civil War. It'd probably be over pretty quick for them. I've seen what they look like. But, they... in their minds, they're the revolutionaries. They're the change that needs to happen. They're the tip of the spear, what have you. And it's just this severe polarization. And to be fair, I think more and more people are starting to push back, like me. More and more people that didn't really want to speak up. Because even if you go back and look at like a lot of my political videos from pre-second Trump win, I genuinely held back a lot of my thoughts. And that is becoming increasingly harder to do, especially for me, when you see this shit day in and day out, and you're just like, this is the dumbest fucking thing on the planet I've ever seen. These people are genuinely insane. And how do you reason with that? You don't. You will not change their minds. You will not change anything about them. Just like these people somehow think that they can change others by force. You can't. It cannot be done. So yeah, there's a huge divide in the US right now. Huge. Because for those of you that haven't watched it, and I think I did a video on it a while back. Yuri Bezmenov did an interview where he was basically discussing, you know, how the Russian nation, how the God, I'm so fucking tired. I'm trying to think here. How the communists in Russia would use subversion to take someplace over, right? And if you listen to all this stuff, I'm gonna find the video because it's gonna bother me. Ideological subversion. There we go. I see, my brain is still functioning. Ideological subversion. This video right here. You spoke several times. This is a video that everyone and their mother needs to watch. Everyone. Regardless of what side you're on. I don't give a shit what side you're on. If you are an American, you need to watch this video. And it's all over the place. There's many different channels that have this thing clipped, right? But it is so spot on. And the funny thing is, Bezmenov wasn't even talking about like modern times, where we're at now. Where we're at now is already way past the point of no return with what he was talking about. But it makes sense when you listen to people talk, when you see the things that they're putting on the internet, when you listen to these rallies, when you figure out that there's a huge portion of these teachers' unions that are made up of socialists. It's absolutely fucking insane. And he was 100% right. You know what? Fuck it. I got time. We're going to watch it.
Before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When
he was right.
Soviets used the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the process which is legitimate, overt, and open. You can see it with your own eyes. All you have to do, all American mass media has to do, is to unplug their bananas from their ears, open up their eyes, and they can see. There is no mystery. There is nothing to do with espionage. I know that espionage intelligence gathering looks more romantic. It sells more deodorants through the advertising, probably. That's why your Hollywood producers are so crazy about James Bond type of thrillers. But in reality, the main emphasis of the KGB is not in the area of intelligence at all. According to my opinion and opinion of many defectors of my caliber, only about 15% of time, money, and manpower is spent on espionage as such. The other 85% is a slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, No one is able to come to sensible conclusions.
That is exactly what is happening. To a T. Some of these people, you could literally show them multiple angles of something happening, and they still won't believe it, and they will still formulate a completely contrarian opinion of what happened. No matter how much evidence you give them, no matter how many times you shove it in their faces, they will not believe it.
In the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing
Because they think they're right.
process, which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being...
How many teachers are self-proclaimed Marxists?
3 generations
Socialists.
of students, without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see...
We're already at the
most
patriotism bad point.
in the 60s. Dropouts or half-baked intellectuals are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational systems. You are stuck with them.
There you go.
Can't get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
And yet these people who've been programmed and, as you say, in place and who are favorable to an opening with the Soviet concept, these are the very people who would be marked for extermination in this country?
Most of them, yes.
See?
Simply because the psychological...
These are the types of people that would be thrown in the gulags that they helped build. They just don't know it because they believe that they are morally right, that they are in the right, and that they're the ones that should be in charge and doing whatever. Where all of these people, all these so-called communists, all these so-called socialists that live here in the U.S., you send them to one of these countries where this shit is actually in power, and they would fold faster than a fucking, I don't know, wet tortilla. Just whoop, gone, done. You're done. You're cooked.
Shock when they will see in future what the beautiful society of equality and social justice means in practice. Obviously, they will revolt. They will be very unhappy, frustrated people, and the Marxist-Leninist regime does not tolerate these people. They will join the links of dissenters, dissidents. Unlike in present United States, there will be no place for dissent in future Marxist-Leninist America. Here you can get popular like Daniel Ellsberg and filthy rich like Jane Fonda for being dissident, for criticizing your Pentagon. In future, these people will be simply
Squashed.
like cockroaches. Nobody is going to pay them nothing for their beautiful, noble ideas of equality.
Exactly.
This they don't understand, and it will be greatest shock for them, of course. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to
He was
true
100%
information
right.
does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When a military boot crashes then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. So basically America is stuck with demoralization, and unless, even if you start right now, here, this minute, you start educating new generation of Americans, it will still take you 15 to 20 years to turn the tide of ideological perception of reality back to normalcy and patriotism. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, it doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation. What matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power,
Normalcy,
and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical...
but by then it's too late.
...borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized.
By then it's too late. By then they've already stripped you of your rights. You won't be able to say anything. You will do what they want, and you're fucked.
This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kind of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like...
You just want to shake people. Be like, wake up. Here you go. This motherfucker called it. And here's the thing. In a perfect world, right? And I say this because when you talk about socialism, somebody who doesn't think it'll fucking work, like me, socialism doesn't work. Communism doesn't work because the one major roadblock to both of these ideologies, to these systems of government, is human fucking nature. Human beings will not allow this shit to work. You saw them try it in, where was it? In Seattle, wherever the fuck, where they tried to do their little independent breakaway from the United States commune thing, the Chaz or Chop or whatever the fuck. It took it, what, days before that shit collapsed? And it was just straight up anarchy? Human nature does not allow this shit to work. And they're like, oh, it's never been tried. Yeah, there's a reason for that, because it won't fucking work. People will not allow it to work. And you could sit there and as much as you want to bang the drum that, oh, we need to try it. It needs to be tried. We need to do this. It won't fucking work. Because we, as human beings, we believe in fairness. Or, oh, that person's not doing as much work as I am. Or you get jealous. Or, you know, this person has more than I do. Or, oh, why should I listen to this person? I'm smarter than him. There are plenty of factors into why this shit will not work. but people refuse to see it. You have, and in Bezmenov's words, these people are fucking brainwashed. We're already through a couple of these steps. I don't think we're at crisis yet, but it's already happened. It's happening. The fucking Chicago Teachers Union went down to go meet with fucking Maduro before we blackbagged his ass. It's already happening. And this is why I say, if you're an American, you need to watch this shit. You need to show your fucking family members. You need to show your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your nephew, your niece, your second cousin, your third cousin, their next door neighbor. Everybody should see this fucking video at least once in their life. Especially the ones that are on the fence. The ones that say it's not happening. You show them this, and then you show them some evidence, and you fucking drill this shit into their brains.
Pokemon Dale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. He will go to Moscow to kiss the...
Look at what's happening in New York.
New generation of Soviet assassins. Never mind. He will create false illusions that the situation is under control. Situation is not under control. Situation is disgustingly out of control. Most of the American politicians, media, and educational system trains another generation of people who think they are living at a peacetime. False. The United States is in a state of war, undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system. And the initiator of this war is not Comrade Andropov, of course. It's the system. However ridiculous it may sound, the world communist system, or the world communist conspiracy, whether it's scared some people or not, I don't give a hoot. If you are not scared by now, nothing can scare you. But you don't have to be paranoid about it. What actually happens now, that unlike myself, you have literally several years to live on unless the United States wake up. The time bomb is ticking, that every second.
This is where we're at.
Coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to, unless you want to live in Antarctica with penguins. This is it. This is the last country of freedom and possibility.
Okay, so what do we do? What is your recommendation to the American people?
Well, the immediate thing that comes to my mind is, of course, there must be a very strong national effort to educate people in the spirit of real patriotism, number one.
Number one. Get rid of these fucking Marxist teachers. Get rid of these Marxist professors. I don't give a shit if they fucking lock their asses in jail for the entirety of the rest of my life. Get these people out of positions where they are teaching younger generations to hate America. Where they're teaching impressionable young people to hate the country that they live in. And don't tell me it's not happening, because it's 100% happening. He's right. It's happening right now. It's not happening everywhere, which is why we're not in a complete and total fucking spiral of collapse. But it is happening. In the universities, in the high schools, in the middle schools, even the fucking elementary schools, they're already pushing this shit. These people need to be stamped out and removed, or things will not get better.
To explain them the real danger of socialist, communist, whatever, welfare state, big brother government. If people will fail to grasp the impending danger of that development, nothing ever can help the United States. You may kiss goodbye to your freedom, including freedoms to homosexuals, to the prison inmate, all this freedom will
useful idiots.
In 5 seconds.
That's what these people are.
Your precious lives. The second thing, the moment at least part of the United States population is convinced that the danger is real, they have to force their government. And I'm not talking about sending letters, signing petitions, and all this beautiful, noble activity. I'm talking about forcing United States government to stop aiding communism. Because there is no other problem more burning and urgent than to stop the Soviet military-industrial complex from destroying whatever is left of the free world. And it is very easy to do. No credits, no technology, no money, no political or diplomatic recognition.
I think
and
Trump
of
is
course, no
starting to
such
work on that,
commercial grain
at least with our enemies.
The Soviet people, 270 millions of Soviets, will be eternally thankful to you if you stop aiding a bunch of murderers who sit now in Kremlin and whom President Reagan respectfully calls government. They do not govern anything, least of all such complexity as the Soviet economy. So basically, two very simple, maybe two simplistic answers.
The first one needs to happen here. The first one needs to be done. They need to immediately eradicate these people from positions of education.
You are in a state of war, and you have precious little time to save yourself. You don't have much time, especially if you are talking about young generation. There's not much time left for convulsions to the beautiful disco music. Very soon it will go, just overnight. If we are talking about capitalists or wealthy businessmen, I think they are selling the rope on which they will hang very soon. If they don't stop, if they cannot curb their unsettled desire for profit, and if they keep on trading with the monster of the Soviet communism, they are going to hang very soon. And they will pray to be killed, but unfortunately they will be sent to Alaska probably to manage industry of slaves. It's simplistic. I know it sounds unpleasant. I know Americans don't like to listen to things which are unpleasant. But I have defected not to tell you the stories about such idiocies as microfilm, James Bond type espionage. This is garbage. You don't need any espionage anymore. I have come to talk about survival. It's a question of survival of this system. You may ask me, what is it in for me? Survival, obviously. Because unlike, as I said, I am now in your boat. If we sing together, we will sing beautifully together.
There you go. There you go. Everybody needs to watch that. Everybody needs to listen to that. Everybody needs to know exactly what can happen and how it happens, because it's already being attempted by these useful idiots that are just creating an entirely new crop of other useful idiots to do the revolution's work when we don't need a fucking revolution. We're not a dictatorship. We're not a fucking banana republic, which some people would argue that we are given certain elections. But we're nowhere near this societal collapse that you've seen, like in the Soviet Union, that you've seen in the Philippines, like that one crazy lady was screaming about, like you've seen in Venezuela. We're just not. We're in the United States, probably the greatest country in the world. You know, between our military, our economy, people want to come here. The only people that are fleeing here are the liberals that think they're already living in hell when they're not. It could be so much worse. But, yeah. I think I'm done for the night. I've ranted for much longer than I wanted to, but I've been holding all this stuff in for quite a while now, actually. And the last couple days have just been, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with these people. I'm done playing nice with these people. I don't know what we're going to do. I have no idea what we're going to do. Because it's getting to the point of no return. And, you know, all we can do, aside from there being an actual civil war where we're marching in the streets and killing each other, all we can do is kind of sit and wait and see who does what, right? So, yeah. There you have it. That's enough ranting from me, and guess what? Tomorrow I have to get up and go to work. I'm not going to go out there and protest and, you know, scream at federal agents. I actually have to get up and go earn my paycheck. So, hopefully, y'all do too. Thanks for watching. And, yeah, this weekend's probably going to be kind of wild, so we'll see what happens. I'm more interested in what happens with Iran than I am with what happens to some idiots in Minneapolis.